Hi, I'm Steve Hoff, and I'm from Ultra Dent Tools, and I'm here today to show you guys some tips and tricks on the BTAG Innovation T-Hotbox. BTAG is an awesome company, and we're proud to be partnered with them to be selling this super high quality machine. A lot of you guys are using them now. They've been around for a few years, and there's some companies trying to copy them now. Some cheap Chinese versions of these things are starting to come out, and there's no comparison to the quality of what these guys are going to give you with this machine, and the performance is going to be unmatched. So anyway, we've got the new carbon fiber heat pin extension. So normally when you get your machine, you get just your heat pin and your cord. This cord is the 3-meter extended cord, and they come with the 1 meter. I highly recommend the 3-meter cord and the heat pin extension. Okay, this thing is really tricked. So what you do is you take the heat pin, you take it off, put it on the end of the extension, and then just click it on. Okay, now you're set and ready to go. So now this button is going to control it. You won't be able to control it from this side, but what it's going to do is it's going to give you a whole lot more control and reach, especially for like roof rails, sail panels and stuff like that when you're reaching out, or even on doors and stuff. So I like it because I can use it anywhere, even up close. It gives me a lot more control. So what we're going to do is we're going to demonstrate a dent for you, and we're going to show you some techniques that I've learned and have seen from some other guys just in the recent past. Okay, with the T-Hotbox, this is the steel version. They now have an aluminum version, which is awesome. The steel version of the machine has 2 power settings. You've got on the left-hand side, you've got 100% power time settings, half a second all the way up to 4 seconds on half-second increments. And then on the right-hand side, you've got percentage of power settings, which goes from 20% power all the way to 100% power, and 20% increments. So what I like to do is I like to use the percentage of power settings. It's much safer. In the manual, they recommend the half a second setting, and that's okay. But a lot of guys are really burning paint with it because you're zapping it with 100% power, and a lot of times you don't really need all that heat. So we're going to start off with the 4-second setting, and if we turn it on when it's on 4 seconds, it's going to bypass the arm alert that it gives you. It beeps every 5 seconds, twice every 5 seconds. So that'll bypass that, and then you can just turn it to whatever setting you want. I'm going to start off on 40% power here, and then we're going to go ahead and demonstrate a couple of dents on this. This is a Ford F-250 hood. It's a steel hood. It's a hail damaged hood. It's got some wickedly sharp dents in it. Now, most cases, like a panel like this, we would be really intimidated to want to repair it because we know that the paint cracks really, really easy on these things. So in this case, there's actually a couple of spots where it's broke the paint just from the edge because the paint's so brittle. So in using the T-Hotbox in conjunction with some just simple hand tools, like Eric Patton's really cool hand tool, adjustable tip hand tool, we can go in there and actually just use the Hotbox with a little bit of heat and put a little bit of pressure underneath the panel and actually really just get a super effective lift on the dent very, very quickly. So we're going to show that to you here right now. Okay, so now we've got a really big oversized dent right here. This is a really bad dent, and these are the type of dents, especially in a braced area, that they're just not fun to do, and they're very time consuming. So I took the heat pin extension off in this case because it's so close. I want to be able to have a little bit more control. So I'm going to set this up. I'm going to set this up to use a simple hand tool and the heat pin. So I'm going to try to find the tip of the tool roughly in this deep monstrosity of a dent. and get as close to the center as I can. And then I'm going to just start putting a little bit of that. We're still using 40% power here. Now this type of a dent would just drop in for sure on its own if I wasn't using a tool from behind. Okay, so you're going to want to search for the low with the tip of the tool for sure. Now I'm not getting any smoke off of this thing at all, so that's a indication that you're getting it too hot. If you see it even a slight trace of smoke, you're starting to burn the paint. And we've seen no smoke whatsoever. This dent right now has already come up, 80% or more, and so we've got it well under control. And it's lifted up a lot better with no sharp pokes or pushes in it. Really, it's got a couple of grooves in it still that we're gonna have to work out, but it's lifted up really nicely in just a short period of time. Okay, so now that I've spent just a minute or two on raising the dent initially, I'm just going to take and hand tool it a little bit to try to get some of this sharpness out of it. So now technically on this dent, we've got like a bit of a groove left in it here. We could finish tooling it all the way, but in a lot of instances, you guys are going to have a dent in a very tight area where you're really having a difficult time just even getting a hand tool on it. So let's just say I could only get like a little skinny wire tool on this dent. So then I could go and use my heat pin there again to help it out, because I may not have as much control with the tool as I do in this particular situation. So I can just use it in conjunction there again. Maybe I could only get a tool just barely on it. So all it takes is just a little bit of pressure on it from the bottom, and then the heat pin just draws it right up. These dents are too sharp for the heat pin only. You could see. We'll try this dent right here, and it's just, you're not going to get that dent all the way out, the one behind it. If you're trying to get a sharper dent all the way out, you want to make sure you're using the infrared heat gun, because if you get these panels anywhere over about 160 degrees or so, you're gonna risk burning the paint, and it'll start to yellow it or even bubble it. So you got to be very, very careful with the heat.